You are a black man. You want to improve, you want to self improve, and you want to gain a grounded identity in being a black man. I have a deep dive guide on all of those things a black man needs to self improve and to gain a grounded identity as a black man. This is required for us to internalize these concepts of being the best version of yourself, the strongest version of yourself, and to be proud and confident in being a black man. And not only that, and you having that as an individual, but learning how to come together with other individuals. I have a deep dive guide on eating healthier, having a more calisthenics based workout, becoming more financially literate, and also learning to develop those relationships with other black men to come together within the community to see the community rise. And also in black history, we're learning that and learning who to look up to in that. If you're a black man trying to increase yourself in those ways, if you're it's required. Forget about all that. It's required. I have a deep dive guide on all of those things. If you're looking for that, the link for that will be in the comments of this video, the description of this video. And if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that. So click on that. You need that and internalize that so you can be the strongest version of yourself as a black man. Peace out. What's up? Too many black men are losing focus, confidence, and money to uncontrolled lust. We can look at many things across the board: addictions to pornography, masturbation, addictions to sex, just overall wasting our energy. And think about it, how many talented black men never build anything because all their energy goes toward chasing woman attention and temporary satisfaction? I can honestly say in my life, a lot of my energy went towards that sexual desire, and lust and watching pornography and masturbation. And I know it's something a lot of guys, have a problem with, but so many guys won't say anything, and it's a silent killer because it all those emotions build, and those are negative emotions because it's a dysfunctional habit. Now, uh, a man can't build a strong future, a strong mind, if he is controlled by temptation every day. If we're controlled by temptation every single day, we're really controlled by our emotions, and we can't get anything done in life. We can never really get in tune with who we truly are. And y'all can see in many videos I talk about, a man embodying uh God by staying in tune with himself. And it's evil when a man can't stay in tune with himself and he's always controlled by his emotions. And a lot of things come from inability to stay committed, inability to to stay focused on your goals. Because I think a lot of times we want to get away from the list. We want to get away from those things, but distractions catch us. We're a consumer. We've been in that consumer mentality, and lust doesn't just destroy your ability to become successful. It also destroys your relationships and your families, and it creates broken families and not only emotional instability, but emotional dysfunction, emotional abuse. And that's one thing we see in the black community a lot. It's a lot of emotional abuse. Even a lot of times it's a lot of sexual abuse, and we have to get away from things like that because that's what's destroying us. And that's people don't really understand. A lot of this stuff comes from that sexual desire, lust, being promiscuous, not properly using your sexual desire and your sexual energy to serve you and help you, and to serve your family and to serve your community, because that energy is the most powerful energy you have as a man. And I think we have to look at, why does this happen. And I think culture has a lot to do with it. And y'all always hear me talking about, changing the culture, cultural revolution, cultural reconstruction. But we do have a hypersexual culture of black people, of black men and black women. And, a lot of us are caught up in that, and we're really damaging ourselves. And it's also because of lack of fathers and toxic relationships. All this comes from lust. All this comes from being hypersexual, and now it's so entrenched into our environment and our culture and our way of life, because that's why it's normalized for the father not to be in the household, because He just slept with this many women. He slept with this woman, and he didn't build anything with her, and that's what it was, or that woman was promiscuous, and that's what it was, right? And that's where the toxic relationships come from. And that's when you can have a man who doesn't know how to properly manage himself. That's when you have a woman who doesn't know how to properly manage herself. And that's how we create more dysfunctional families, create more toxic relationships. uh and the cost of lust is wasted years, it's lack of respect, it's emotional instability, and just so many, it does so much to your emotions. That's what causes you to restrict yourself and hide who you are and not express yourself, and your emotions don't have to be always attached to who you are, but when it comes to just being yourself, your emotions play a role in everything about you, right? And sometimes it can hurt you, just like, being controlled by your emotions. You want to control your emotions, right? But always use your emotions to help you. And it's just in understanding that. And when we really start to peel everything back, some men lose decades. A lot of men lose decades of their life chasing temporary pleasure. And when they wake up, when they're 40, 50, 60 years old, they don't have nothing built for themselves. It's a lot of dudes I know in real life, which I won't say, but any black dude could tell you this, like you can see a lot of dudes who are 40, 50, 36, 37. You got 6 kids, but you don't have no type of wealth built or no type of foundation built for yourself, right? So all that time went to just lust, right? And that's one thing I don't want to be. Every black man out there should strive to have a good example of what a family should look like, right? And so I think that that's something that's very, very important. And I believe one thing that's going to help us with 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 figuring out this problem is when we start to come together, when we start to have that communal sense of coming together, when we really have organization, and the black men really putting something together for us to improve. And I actually have a guide for that. It's a deep dive guide on everything a black man needs to do to self-improve, not only to self-improve, but to gain a identity in being a black man, a strong black man. um, and that guide, it goes over eating healthier, becoming more financially literate, a more calisthenics based workout, and also we just dive into overall coming together. We try to develop coming together with other black men to self-improve and to get to the next level together. If you're interested in that, in coming together with other black men, and developing that, and also just overall self-improving and gaining that grounded identity, I have a deep dive guide on all of those things, with who to look up to in black history, how you should look at yourself, and overall self-improving, becoming more financially literate. If you're a black man trying to increase yourself in those ways, I do have I have a guide for that. The link for that will be in the comments of this video, the description of this video. And if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that. Click on that. Peace out.